Do we need powder?
No, you look good.
But it's 50 SPF.
But do I look airbrushed?
You look amazing.
But not airbrush.
Liar.
The competition begins.
No, never. We don't compete.
It's a healthy competition. We compete to improve.
It's so true. It's such a Russian thing, by the way.
Talk about it.
Okay. Listen.
Look how excited she is.
She's
hoping we're gonna like get in fight here
No,
and like rip
she
each other
wants-
hair, you know?
She wants us. Okay, so I'll tell you something. You know how my podcast. Are you comfortable?
Yes, I'm cozy.
Okay, great.
I'm
So
nervous. I'm
on-
sweating my armpits already.
you can take off the shuba. You're okay.
No. Now
Vita
now
walked
there's like
in, being like,
whole-
"I need a fur coat to match the energy."
The vibe.
But it's also, guys, it's freezing in Miami. I don't think I've ever been this cold
yeah.
in Miami before.
I mean, there was a couple winters like that, but yeah, it's very rare.
This was nice. I wore my like snakeskin coat yesterday, but
Same.
now that's it. I'm ready. Let's go back to normal.
No, I feel like we need a few more. I have still some coats I haven't worn.
Okay. So I'll tell you. You see my podcast. I go into the ins and outs of the soul, like, and I sit with people and talk about their lives and stuff like that. And I like it, but I'm also fatigued by it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's the same kind of formula.
It's
Over
just
and over again.
It's just deep conversations are awesome. Like I used to hate doing small talk, and now I hate doing big talk. Now
Okay.
just like talk to me about stupid shit. Like that's what I need in my life.
Okay.
So I was like, you know who's gonna be the best person to bring on the sofa to talk shit with? Vita.
Amazing.
So that's where you're here.
Considering 2 days ago you told me I never talk shit.
Who?
You?
No, I don't talk shit about people, but I talk shit.
Yeah.
I feel like talking shit about people is very like, it's not trendy anymore.
I think it reflects obviously your inner state. You know.
When do you talk shit about people?
I don't know, when you feel maybe insecure about yourself.
Oh yeah, that's what I
think
mean.
I'm-
But insecure is not like, it's not a thing anymore. Like
Yeah.
it's like we're past that, you know.
I think we're just in a circle where we don't have insecure people anymore around us.
It just feels very 2022.
Yeah. But I think it still exists, trust me.
100%. But I do love, and Celine also said the same thing today. She's like, I wanted to say something about someone, and then I decided to choose kindness because I
Wanna
I
be
feel
that
good
person.
about myself. Why should I talk shit? And I was like, yeah, I'm telling you, I feel like it's across the board. People are like, it's not a thing anymore. So I'm really happy that we passed that point in our lives.
Honestly, I feel like me and you were kind of busy with our life. We don't have the time to talk about anyone.
That's a very good point. Like it's a luxury.
We don't have time to talk about each other, like to each other.
Not gonna waste a little time on other people.
Exactly.
So we wanted to, at first I was like, let's sit down, because what we do most, I feel, is send each other memes about the Eastern European
That's true.
culture. And I was like, it would be so great to do this and talk about like dating and stuff. And then I was like, oh, maybe I should pull some Reddit, you know, the Reddit threads
Yeah.
and the kind of stuff people like post there.
Uh-huh.
I started going through it and I was like,
Is it like just like general stuff, or
it's
about
like general about like different relationship situations and stuff
okay.
like that. But as I started kind of reading them, Celine sent me a few, I was like, none of this is acceptable. I feel like our immediate reaction would be like, no. So I threw that out the window.
Okay.
So we're going to start with talking about the ins and outs for you, because
All right.
that's something that's been stuck in my head of what is in for me for 2025 and what is out.
Okay.
Out for me is gossiping.
Gossiping. I mean, for me, yeah, gossiping was out a long time ago, and I think we talked about it, that we cut people out right away. I was very giving in the past few years.
Yeah.
And it's great, but I learned in my past year that not everyone appreciated it. So I still plan to be giving, but maybe very selective with that.
Okay, so you're going to be less giving.
I know, not less giving, but more selective with who I'm giving. Like I was spreading my energy too thin sometimes.
I don't know how you do it. Like, it's kind of surprising to me that you're so...
I love this. Like I don't know. I just feel this nurturing energy within me that I have to give to people. So I guess
It drains me.
Well, it started to drain me, I think, at some point. And I think that the fact that some people were not appreciating I think it taught me that I shouldn't be, giving to everyone.
So what is
so
it?
Much.
What's this? So you're going to become...
No, I think that in 2025, I'll be more selective with who I'm giving to, my energy.
Okay,
away.
so what are your perimeters for like, okay, this person, I'll give them the time of day. And this one, no.
Well, I think at this point, I mean, I'm 30, right? And I think in my 20s, I was like, I was living...
I can't fucking believe you're 30.
I'm 30. And I do feel like my vision on life changed completely at 30. Like, we talked about it and you told me, oh my God, 30 is the best.
Is the best.
And now I understand exactly what you...
But it's not... No, you don't even know yet. I thought that it's
getting
like...
better?
Yes,
Okay.
like 34, and I'm like, oh my God, how much better can it get? And it just gets better.
Okay, I can't wait to see what's more.
So what happened for you in your 30s?
I think I just started to see life more clear, like what I want.
Yeah.
I don't doubt myself as much anymore.
You were always, though, very confident.
I don't think so. I mean,
Maybe that's what you
I think I
project.
was projecting that.
Yeah.
But now I feel like I'm actually living it. Like I feel inside that, where
Yeah.
before it was like kind of fake it till you make it situation. But
Yeah.
now I feel like I'm actually like more confident about going for things that I want.
Mm-hmm.
Where before I was just like,
Lottie-dying
tiptoeing
around.
kind of and
Yeah.
touching the grounds of different things. So I think in 2025, I want to really focus on things that I want to do within my career.
Yeah.
And, be very clear with that. And as I said, like, I think now I have such a good, secure group of friends that I don't want any more.
No new friends.
No new friends. Like, I want to just focus on the one I have and keep my group tight.
Do you remember how we met?
Well, it was a blind date.
It was literally a blind date.
I remember we followed each other on Instagram for a while. And I think we were just like DMing each other, liking each other pictures. And then you moved here. And I think I hit you up and I was like, oh, I mean, I always liked you, liked your energy, and I felt like we could be friends.
Yeah.
But like meeting each other in the real life, it's like totally another thing. And I remember we went on a blind date to Swan for brunch.
Yeah.
And we just hit off.
Yeah. It was very natural.
One thing I liked about you is like you weren't rushing into a friendship. Like you were taking it also like gradually. And I think that's how like a real friendship develops. It like doesn't need a force.
That's so interesting you say that, because I feel, especially moving to Miami, I felt the pressure to move faster and like, because in general, I think maybe it's an American thing. I think in the US, and not only US, also North America in general, people are just like very quick to open up and to just kind of like lay their cards out open. And it always made me feel uncomfortable in a way. And I always had this, everyone called me, even back in Israel, like an ice queen. I always had like the ice queen title because I was like a true Russian of like, I need to feel a certain something in order to be like, okay, I'm opening up. You are welcome to come in. I felt the pressure a little bit to be like that because I wanted to make new friends. It was my mission to make new friends and intentional ones. I kind of felt like a fraud for a little bit because I was like trying to make, like to behave, like other people. Like, again, people open up really fast here. And I don't know how much of it is a facade, how much is like real.
I mean, I actually have been in the same situation because I feel like when I was in New York, I was focused so much on my career and I had no friends. Like, literally, I had 0 friends. The only friend I had was like on my phone, a friend that I met like 10 years ago, and we kept remaining friends. But I did not have real friends in New York. And I think since I moved here and started a family, I was like the same as you. I was so focused on making friends, and I think when you put your focus into it, you kind of start to behave in a certain way to like attract friends, right?
Yeah.
And I think you start to attract both good people and bad people in a way.
Well, yeah. So you can learn how to differentiate between the two.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what's an out for me because it's coming
tell
up
me.
for me. I've been really focusing on natural beauty this year.
Okay.
And I'm fucking over it.
I love how you get very passionate about something.
Okay,
if we're talking about like small things like this, what's out for me is, like all these rules of like you see on in the dieting world where it's like no meat, no dairy, no this, like that's it. This year is completely out for me.
Oh,
I eat everything.
Absolutely.
I eat meat, I eat everything. And I think now I finally see on the internet that it's going back to basic. We're going back to basic. People start to learn, oh, cooking on avocado oil, maybe it's not as healthy. Maybe the butter now is better. And it's like, okay, my mom cooked on butter my entire childhood.
Why are you saying avocado oil?
I'm just saying, like, there's always something.
But what did you hear about it?
Why are you cooking avocado oil?
Yeah.
Okay.
I also cook on butter, but what's wrong with avocado oil?
I mean, all these things that it's like has the high burning point that it's like...
It has a high burning point.
Sorry, low burning point to release the, whatever that, cancerogens. Anyway, butter is better. That's what we learned. So we stick with basic.
Don't take the avocado oil away from me.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Okay, butter.
You didn't hear that. Sometimes I feel like it's better not to read and just keep going,
100%. Well, that's what happened to me with beauty. So I was like on this journey. I'm like, I'm not going to do Botox anymore because I want to see how I age. And I do love aging. I love well-aged women. What I've realized, though, that well-aged women are doing things. They're just doing them very well.
And quietly.
And very quiet.
Well, one thing I can tell you in 2025 for me is Botox. I've done it for the first time.
And?
Love it.
Where have you? But it's good that you waited until 30.
Yes.
Because I started at 32, 33. 32.
Yeah, after I had my second child, I actually been going to the same cosmetologist and she was like, no. And then after second child, she's like, maybe.
It's time.
It's time.
But she's saying it's like prevention?
Yeah. I mean, she said that already in Mimic, like she could see creases. So I'm like, okay, let's prevent it. I don't want a crease.
Is your mom like a...
No, my mom haven't done anything to her face until she was like 45, I think.
You see, I want to be that person, but I can't because I express everything.
But now she's like unhappy. Now she's trying to fix things and it's just like, okay, maybe if you would put sunscreen and did a little bit of Botox earlier, you would be happier now.
I want to tell you also, as a Russian woman, the standard of aesthetic is so high.
Crazy.
And people don't realize that a 10 here is like a 5 in Russia.
That's true.
Or like Eastern Europe in general. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when you come to
And it's
to
funny.
Russia, probably you'll feel like not very well groomed.
No, you feel disgusting. You feel like you just came out of the forest. And I don't think people realize, I mean, some people realize because now a lot of Eastern Europeans talk about it. But, when I used to, people would say, oh, you're so beautiful. I'm like, you guys you don't know.
But I feel like they go overboard there too. Like it's their all like focus. I don't want this to be my all focus. Like, it's good to be groomed, but to the point where it doesn't take over the quality
over
of
your life. Yeah. But I want them to be the guinea pigs and then share it with the Eastern Europeans abroad.
Yes, that's
like
that's
let us
point.
know.
They try all the things so we can know what actually works.
What have you heard lately that's been like?
Honestly, I'm so detached from that part of the world. I don't know what's there.
From your well-groomed friends, because you have a lot of them. What's
they all live here.
Yeah.
But you know what? They don't share often.
Oh, my God.
They like
you
to
know
keep
what's
it to themselves.
in? Gatekeeping. That's in.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So less talking about what you do.
Less talking about anything. Like, stop sharing stuff.
I don't know.
On a mass scale.
I agree. But, like, for instance, when I started to do my lips and people on the internet like, oh, your lips changed. And I wouldn't be like, oh, yeah, they grew. Like, what am I supposed to say?
Just be like, I actually stopped using avocado oil.
Yeah. They grew because I incorporated butter in my routine.
This is how you attack both industries at once.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm not encouraging people to like do the same, but I do think that transparency on like beauty standards should be there.
But where's the limit? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I rather people don't lie,
But where's the limit?
Like now, Lindsay Lohan comes out and tells that it was just a facial. And it's like, girl, no, it wasn't just a facial.
So I was talking to a doctor.
Tied all the way to the...
I was talking to a doctor.
To the top.
Just like... I was talking to a doctor and he said, so many of the before and after with Lindsay Lohan is so exaggerated because they use photos of her when she was doing drugs and drinking every day. And I was like, okay, that's actually fair. Because when I Googled, it's true. No one shows her when she was like
That's
good.
true.
So you see her now, and like obviously she made some tweaks, but I don't know if it's as much work as people say.
Well, I don't know. To be completely honest, I actually feel like she looks better than before, like when she was younger.
100%.
So I think that whatever she've done was for better, but you cannot say that she haven't done anything major on her face.
And I think that's what kind of broke my natural beauty view of the world. I don't know if I'm brainwashed by social media or if I kind of looked at her and I was like, you know what? I'm sure she's really happy. Like Demi Moore is probably so happy now.
I mean, natural beauty is great if you're happy with it, right? If you're not happy with it, like do whatever
then why are you fighting against nature
to make yourself feel good, you know? If you feel like not doing Botox and have wrinkle on your face, sure, great.
Was your mom growing up, was she like, did she ever talk about these things? Like, oh, you need to lose some weight, or oh, you need to do this?
I was growing up in a very like healthy environment. My parents are always in great like confidence in me. But I have to say, like, when I started modeling, and I took it serious, and I think one thing that my father was giving me always is confidence and like pushing us forward, like me and my brother. And it's in a way like it can come out as being harsh, but in the same way, I can say that at some point he stopped making us feel in a way comfortable at home, where you felt like you needed to push yourself going forward, if that makes sense.
How did he do that? Yeah.
Like talking about modeling, I took it serious. It wasn't their idea. They weren't pushing me into it. But I think at some point he really saw I wanted to achieve something in it. And I think he was like giving me comments sometimes, you know, like, oh, did you work out today? Like, why are you just procrastinating at home? Like, go to the gym. Like, I was eating like cake, you know, in front of TV at night. And I like had a contract coming up in a week and I wasn't like in shape. And he'd be like, what are we doing, you know? And I think if you say it to an American parent, probably they'll be like, oh, it's a body shaming.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I would tell that to my kid, but in that specific, you know, we grew up in a different household with different standards. You know, I think I was maybe kind of like made me feel like, oh, is he trying to say I'm not in shape? You know, like I was kind of raising those questions. I'm so grateful to him for, you know, pushing me forward and asking me to do better and better in a way.
Okay, listen, there are not enough meals in the day where I can get enough protein. I said what I said. I don't know how people do it. I try to follow all these influencers that are showing how to get the amount of protein in, and it just does not work for me. So because of that, I'm definitely supplementing with a protein powder, but something that I've learned recently is that not all protein powders are the same. So did you know that the Clean Label Project did a recent study that found that 47% of the most popular protein powders exceeded lead and cadmium safety guidelines? Are we surprised? That's why I went on a hunt, and I'm so relieved to share that I found Puri and their PW1 whey protein powder. She is here in all her glory. So let's start with the fact that the entire brand is built on the idea of meticulously testing supplement and transparency to ensure that they are as pure as possible. Specifically, PW1 is a third-party tested against more than 200 contaminants and is Clean Label Project certified. I don't have to tell you what an incredible standard it is and how impossible it is to find these days. It is free from hormones, GMO, pesticides, soy, and gluten, and it delivers 21 grams of protein per serving. My personal favorite is the bourbon vanilla flavor, so you can put it in a smoothie or in a shake, whatever way you use the protein powder. So do what I did, add Puri's PW1 to your routine now. I have a super exciting deal for you if you want to take advantage. Right now you get 20% off, or if you choose their already discounted subscription, you get almost a third of the price. When you visit my exclusive URL, puri.com/Valeria, and use my promo code Valeria. That's PURI.com/Valeria. The discount is only available when you visit my exclusive URL and use my promo code, so don't wait. Listen, I don't know the science, like the children's psychology and how it works, but I do think we need to bring back the honest communication with children, because kids they're not dumb. You know what I mean? So this idea of like attending to them, obviously until a certain age, you don't want to say things that may stick, but at some point you kind of need to be like, listen, gotta do better, like, there's more potential that needs to be fulfilled. Like, I have bigger expectations.
I mean, I have to say, I don't think me and my husband were very like sugarcoating things, and sometimes I think our friends that are maybe of a different backgrounds, they look at us like, whoa, so we're trying to find that balance, not to be too harsh, but also
I don't know, I kind of want to be harsher. I think I got a little too
soft.
Yeah. I feel like Gary's holding down the fort when it comes to like discipline. And he often needs to shake me and be like, do you remember where we come from? Do you know who we are? Do you know what is our motivation? Where do you think that came from? And I'm like, yes, shit, I need to remember where we're from,
It's funny, I just filmed for my YouTube New Year resolution.
Yeah.
And now I see like all over Instagram, everywhere, people say, oh, New Year resolution is like, shouldn't be there. It's putting too much pressure. And like, I don't know. I think pressure makes progress. Like, you need to put as much pressure on yourself as you can.
So true.
If you're like too comfortable, like just generally, not just kids, but like even our generation, I think they became too soft.
I think through
everyone
life
is so
you want to,
touchy,
I know.
And it's just
that's
like,
an out for me too.
Yeah.
I'm predicting that. I think everyone is
over it. Okay. I hope so, because I am.
I'm super over it. I know you've been over it for a long time. I think because for me with social media,
I don't think I was ever in it. I was always over it, because I'm sure you went through the same thing. Like, I have an accent, even to this day, like people leave me comment like, her accent, like, forget it, girl, what are you doing? Like, you
no
should
way,
pick another job, And it's like, at first I think it was affecting me in a way, but now I think I built so much resilience to those comments. And honestly, it's been so great for like self growth in a way. Just putting more and more videos and things out there that just makes you feel uncomfortable in order to make you feel comfortable in the long run. So I think now I'm finally having that confidence to express my thoughts on how I wanna, how I envision my family or career or things like that.
I saw a video, this is unrelated, but I saw a video that just made me think of it, where they say that Eastern European people don't smile because smiling without a reason is a sign of stupidity.
Well, that's what they say in Russia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in general, like, how there's always like the Balkans, it's the same thing. What is the Balkans?
I don't know. Balkans. I mean,
it's like Eastern Europeans,
yeah,
huh?
In a way.
So that whole region is just, you don't smile just to smile. Like, there needs to be a reason for smiling.
I don't know. I cannot connect to that because I smile a lot.
You do?
Yeah. You never notice?
Right now, you just gave me a look that I'm like, yeah. You. I noticed. You do smile, but I think we already been conditioned to
American culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've been living here for 14 years, so
that's it.
I believe that I mean, that's basically half of my life.
That's crazy.
So I don't know, in a few years, I can say I'm more American than Russian in a way.
What are you holding on to, though, with things that, like, the way you were raised or grew up and kind of the values of the region that we grew up in? What do you hold on to?
I mean, I think just generally the way, I envision and raise my family. I think I'm very much mimicking how I've been brought up. And I think I want to keep that because as I told you, like, I grew up in a very healthy household where my mom and my dad are still together.
How do you know it's healthy, though?
I don't know. I don't have any childhood traumas, I guess. I mean, listen, now when I look back, like,
did you dig?
All this, I mean, listen, now when you analyze that, all these demands that parenting has these days, like where you look at this like parenting Instagrams and it's like, never scream at your child, talk calmly, like you have to spend so much time with your child. Like, no, my mom never played with me. Like, I literally cannot recall one time that my mom would play with me.
Yeah.
Because she was stay-at-home mom. She had so many tasks around the house. She was doing laundry and cooking and all these things. Like, she was cooking 3 meals a day. Like, it's a lot, you know?
Yeah.
Like, she never played with me. But to be honest with you, like, looking back, like, I thought I had a great childhood.
Same. No one ever played with me. I was always by myself, just like roaming the streets. I have also the best memories, but as you get older and start diving into certain things, and that's where I disagree a little bit when it comes to this whole childhood traumas, because if you look for something, you'll find something, you know what I mean? So there's definitely certain things and behaviors and like codes in me that I can connect to, because it all stems from childhood. But it doesn't come from a place of like, they did it wrong.
I will say that my parents probably had a more difficult childhood than me. Like, if I hear the stories of my parents, like, I'm like, whoa. Like, those little things that you've done, it explains
all the
flaws that we
all
had.
The baggage.
But I think overall, like, I never felt abandoned. Like, my parents were always there for me. Meals were there.
Yeah.
Like, the household was good.
No, you're very well-rounded, which is nice, I guess. How do you connect to people that want to connect over trauma, though? You know how there is this culture of sitting down and be like, I had this as a child, or I feel unworthy. And it's like they're looking for an in to connect with you. Do you just sit there and be like, I had a healthy childhood, I feel I'm good?
No, I don't know. But I will bring up my parents. My dad grew up without a father. Like, he never saw his father. And I think it's in some way, growing up, I heard so many times that I think he wished to see his father because he lived in the same town. And I think I heard that a few times he even wanted to meet him, but like my grandmother didn't want. So I saw that in him, that he had that brewing in him.
Yeah.
And despite the whole situation of his childhood, he is the best father to this day. That I always say, like, my father is the best dad. And I think that also was such a gift, because now, being an adult, when I was searching for some, partner in life for future father of my kids, I think I had that high standard. Okay,
first of all, I'm jealous. Like, good for you that you had a father. That was great. And healthy relationship. Can't relate. The second thing is we laughed about it when we did the video.
Yes.
But I was like,
not the same childhood, but the same outcome.
Exactly, because we both married much older men.
Yeah.
And what is the difference between you and Valerio?
20 years.
20 years. Gary and I are 18 years. And I always laughed, but also obviously saying it seriously, that in a way, like, Gary was my solution to my daddy issues. And in general, whether you have a daddy issue either way, doesn't mean like you don't have to marry someone older to solve it. Like, usually people find a partner that represents either the same characteristics as, the father you grew up with, or the opposite, right? Like, you always find there's always some kind of connection. But for me, it was hilarious because I found it from a place of I need to like fill in that void. And for you, who had a super healthy, amazing father-daughter relationship, you still married an older guy. What's up with that?
I don't think that I honestly don't envision that as we had daddy issues. I think it's more, that's how I see it. Maybe you see it differently.
Yeah.
I think it's more for me was I got out of home so early and went on to build my life. And, modeling, as good or bad it is amazing for becoming independent at such an early age.
Definitely.
Like, I moved to New York by myself. I was 17. I was paying rent for an apartment that was at that time like $3,500, which is a lot of money. Like, none of my like childhood friends ever like saw that money. They were probably still living in the, in their parents' house, which is totally fine. Like, it's normal that at 17 you're living, but I feel like you just progress and race throughout that like first period of life so fast that I remember when I moved to New York, I had a boyfriend that I was still dating in Russia. He was like 2 years older than me. And, I was always very career driven, and that was my plan. I wasn't planning to stay, in my hometown. We stayed in touch, and at some point he was like, "Oh, I'm going to move for you to New York." And at first I was like, "Oh, great." And then like the next day was just kind of started to settling in, and I was like,
no, you would have supported this guy.
He's gonna come to New York to live in the place I pay, and then I have to like have, he's gonna come here. Then I'm gonna feel bad because like he came here for me.
Of course.
I was like, the next day I called, I was like, I don't think it's gonna work. Like we should break up. So like I feel like we kind of lived through those stages of life so far that we weren't connecting to our age group anymore.
Yeah.
So
no,
when
definitely.
I in a way, started to look for a partner in my early 20s, even so I wasn't like, saying, okay, that's it, I want to get married. But I always wanted a serious relationship. I never were that girl that like just going on dates just to go on dates. Like I was just happy by myself, or it's a serious relationship. Like I don't want to waste my time. So I think I was looking for like a secure guy, and I think especially in US, the guys grow up so late in general, like kids grow up so late that I could just not connect to them. Like the interest, everything was just so different.
Yeah.
That, when I met, Valeria, who was older than me, he just like provided me that security in a way that I needed.
Yeah. It's funny you said security because that's the word I use a lot. And I
think it's natural for a woman, like, way they say, oh, women are so calculated. Like, no, that's just the way we are. We are made for,
absolutely
making babies. So that's your responsibility to choose.
Procreate, and women look for security and like protection 100%. That's how it works.
So I think that's just, I honestly envision it this way because you were in the same circumstances. Like, I think that's what Gary maybe provided you too, is like, okay, like this guy have the same, I don't know. To me, it's also, I think that if I'm coming in and like I having that financial freedom and the guy don't, I don't know, but in my opinion, it creates insecurity in the guy too.
Oh my God, yeah.
So I don't want to deal with that, So for me, it's important that the guy at least on the same level as me or doing better because I want to learn.
You have to respect the men that you're with. And I think in general, that's something that I picked up culturally from just observing the way people operate on in our culture, that there needs to be a level of respect. If that respect is lost, then that's it. It's like kind of the beginning of the end, if you ask me, So it was very important for me to find someone I respect and that can be assertive and will let me know when I cross the line. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And vice versa, by the way. You have to be able to do it.
I'm not a person that ever holds things inside. Like, you get what you see with me. So whatever I don't like, I just say it right away. In relationship, friendship, whatever. And I think that's the healthiest way.
Definitely.
And these days, like, you see all these people that, that just, you see the stories out of nowhere. A person flipped. And it's like nothing ever, there was no signs.
Right. So you prefer to like give the signs.
No, but I think it's healthier for any emotional state.
I agree.
It's like you release, you move on.
I was very angry at myself at the end of last year because I've had a person in my life that I knew shouldn't be in my life.
Okay.
But I was like, no, it's okay. Like, I don't see them that often. We're not that close. And I was just kind of let it linger on. And I felt it, like physically when I was around them, I'm like, it's not like they did anything, but it's just, a feeling.
Energy.
My body was like, they cannot be in your life. And it ended up being like, instead of me putting kind of my foot down and being very clear that this needs to, like, this is done, I just kind of hope that it will end on its own if I don't engage.
Right.
And it ended up being like a completely stupid situation that ended that. And I was really upset with myself because I'm like, this is the universe that just like taught me a lesson that if I felt something, I needed to put that period and move on rather than just let it be open-ended and then just, make this like mess happen.
Yeah, I do believe that if it doesn't feel right from a start or at some point, it's time to move on.
I know. I don't have yet, I'm building towards it, but I don't have yet that full like faith in myself, like where I feel and I'm like, okay, this is yes, like I follow through, because I question.
You know, it's funny you brought it up. I just had like past year, one of my close friend, we kind of like fall off as well. Fall out.
Yeah, fell apart.
Fall out. Fall out.
Fall out. Fall up. Fall
Help us
in.
out. Fall apart. Fall out.
Yes, a fallout.
I had a fallout, and you know, I just talking about, like I was telling you, like how giving I was. I just felt like I had to preserve my energy at some point.
Yeah.
And it just started not to feel right. And she was really my close friend, but at some point I was just like, I don't think it's worth anymore the conversation. Like I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna leave it the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna like feel aggressive towards her. I'm not gonna feel upset towards her. Like I'm gonna act like, you know, normal.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not gonna be as passionate about the friendship. Like I'm not gonna be sharing my life. I'm not gonna be as excited anymore. Not because I wanted to do it intentionally, but because the way I felt, right?
Right.
And it's funny, after like almost a year, she wrote me this long message where she kind of came back to it herself. She realized the whole situation and she brought it up herself.
Yeah.
And, you know, then we had this whole conversation together and we kind of made it up again. Our relationship improved. But sometimes I just feel like you just gotta let it be, because, you know, a person that's, you know, that may be doing the wrong thing has to understand on their own that they are doing something wrong, you know?
Yeah, but that's if you need that person to get there.
Yeah,
You
maybe.
know,
I
for
was
me,
still
I was
attached to
just
her.
like,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is not I know this person does not belong in my life ever again.
Yeah.
And there's like no discussion
Yeah,
needed.
I think I still left the door open in
Yeah,
a way
exactly.
for her to come in. But yeah, no, I agree.
But
we
that's
talked
so
about
nice.
I was cutting people out in the past year. Left
Yeah.
and left. Right.
Right.
Right and
Right.
left. Left and right.
I think that's very healthy to be able to speak and whatever needs to come out at the moment to let it come out, because if there's anything I've learned in the past year about, you know, really diving into women's health and stuff, honestly, most diseases come from those suppressed stress, emotions, and all this shit we
Holding
carry
inside, yeah.
holding inside. Yeah.
But I think that's, you know, I mean, again, comparing like our culture and, you know, and US culture, like, you know, I'm living here now such a long time. And I do think that a lot of people here, because that's how they are not like, they don't say things right away. And I think that's causing them to like hold these things inside. And you see a lot of like, you know, people who are so stressed out here.
Yeah. And then end up doing horrible things.
Exactly.
100%. So what should we do?
Just keep
Go do
being
ayahuasca.
vocal about our problems. So cancel the oversharing. Bring the
And
sharing
actually
back in.
Bring the oversharing so you can heal your own shit and
Yeah.
move on.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna debate on that, on the how in and how much out it is. I want to be superficial again. I want to be more superficial.
Why?
Just because I want like a lightness of being. Like, I don't know. I just want to like to do, you know, through life.
Is this podcast ever gonna air?
I'm trying to learn how to shoot the shit, and you're not shooting shit with me.
I don't know which shit to shoot. Which shit can we shoot? Like gossip? You want gossip?
No, not gossip, but I'm
What?
telling you, this is it. Like, this is the year of being a little bit more superficial. That's for me Zen.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna feel bad about it.
Okay. I'm here to cheer
Because I
you
feel
on.
like I've been really focusing on like self-development and healing. Mm-hmm. And I'm
That's
kind
the
of
thing.
over
The
it.
shit is not shitting, because that's the way I always see you. You're like, you know,
Well,
all
that's
into deep things.
exactly.
So I'm not prepared for those.
You're not
conversations.
prepared. I
No,
know, that's
I don't
why when
have, I don't have that comfort.
you
with
didn't
you.
bring the shit
No, I just don't have that comfort with you.
of the shit shooting.
Yeah, I think we didn't break that wall in our friendship yet.
Well, what a wonderful occasion to do it. Our first podcast episode. Surprise! I want to do like this more because I'm telling you, I reached a plateau.
Plateau of deepness.
Deepness. The shit is coming up now. That's where I'm at. So this is my plan for 2025.
But you said that you were scared about being canceled on the Reddit. You scared that that's going to be a Reddit coming back after you, up your ass after.
But what are you worried that people think you're stupid?
Whoever think I'm stupid, they already think that.
But I feel like you're on a mission to change their minds.
No. I'm just saying, like, if I say something stupid, like, I cannot just, blur it.
Just like wink and make it
exactly blur
cute.
it like it was a joke.
I want to tell you that there are people that made it very appealing for me to just being able to sit down and talk about whatever without feeling the need to intellectualize things.
Okay.
Which is something I've battled. Like, I am a professional over-analyzer, overthinker, and over everything.
I mean, maybe I don't know, maybe I'm too. I love to analyze things too and like being conscious of what I say. Things just don't flow easily.
That's so
sometimes.
2024.
Okay,
being
fine.
conscious of what you say. Come on.
Okay, fine, let's go.
Out.
You
know what else connects us? Remember that girl on YouTube that does reaction videos on nutrition videos that other YouTubers do?
Oh my God, so good. Yeah.
And she did a reaction video about what I eat in a day.
And then, I did her I give her the reaction back of what she on her reaction.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it so fun to do? Because I didn't.
I did it because I was trying to grow my YouTube and it performed really well after hers.
I want to tell you though, when I look at the video reaction she did, back in the day when I saw it, I was like, she's being a hater. And then recently I saw it maybe 2 years ago and I'm like, no, she was right.
But what you were showing there?
Just
You
really
were eating like a strawberry a day?
Just like I put a tortilla, because back then I was trying to like be a cook in the kitchen, but it was a tortilla and there were 3 shrimps in it, and then I just rolled it and ate it, and I was like, lunch.
And what she said, that's disgusting, or it's not enough protein?
It's not enough anything. And now I'm like, yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I agree, but it's like people see one tortilla and they think that's the whole meal in the day. Like they think the little glimpse on the internet. It's
no,
like
but it was a
life.
video of what I eat in a day.
You what I eat in a day. I see. So you like documented the whole thing.
I documented the whole thing, and I was definitely what I documented was under eating.
I mean, but to this day I get these messages
that you under eat.
Yeah, but I don't think I under eat.
Well, they don't know.
That's what I'm saying. So like everyone.
But you show balanced meals.
To
what are some things?
Apparently not.
Depends who's watching.
The most comments is like, that's what she eats in a day is what I eat in one meal.
Then
I'm like, wow, you have good appetite. Well, actually, I responded to her and I said, well, if I would eat that in a whole meal, I wouldn't be able to stand up from a couch. And they like came after me. My God, you're shaming her for eating so much in one meal. I just said the truth.
People don't want to hear the truth anymore. The young generation, they don't filter at all. Like, they don't care, and I admire that. I don't have that, because I feel like when you're older, you already know, you kind of can be like, okay, that can be taken wrong and that can be a bad, so you're like thinking about it too much.
But is it people who already have like social media presence, or like businesses, or like they have nothing?
They just started.
But that's the thing.
Or
like
some that build their fame
to
on
lose
that.
In a way,
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think that's it. The nothing to lose.
Yeah.
How do we bring back that energy?
We're not going to bring back energy because we have something to lose.
We have too much to lose.
We have too much to lose. We needed to like get a tequila drinks.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking.
Do I get you some?
Well, not right now.
Why not?
Really?
Yeah, it's 3 o'clock.
Have you ever heard of the Giggly Squad? So it's these 2 girls, and they're just able to like sit and they bounce and they talk about nothing.
I never listen to this.
I don't listen to it either. But then I started listening, and I'm like, this is entertaining. This is nice. It's like a break for your brain.
It's a background noise.
So I was listening to it and I was like, this is actually like so It's nice. Because everything else out there, it's
you're
like
listening to it like while you're doing something.
Yeah.
It's relaxing.
Yes.
It's comforting. It's not like you
Yes.
have to use your brain capacity.
Correct.
Are you gonna drink or are you gonna pretend you're drinking?
No, she's taking this.
No, I'm taking it in.
If Valeria,
I love how serious she
If
is.
Valeria drinks that whole thing, all hell's breaking loose.
No, we're gonna do sip.
No.
We're taking a
srazu?
shot.
Like what?
One lime.
Vita, can I tell you, one time she drank half a glass of wine right after I bought a brand new Porsche, and then we were at a Sweet 16. She drank half a glass of wine, and on the way home she vomited on my like 3-day-old brand new Porsche.
I just had the
You
second
have really-
baby, and
really Russian resilient to the alcohol.
I can get drunk on 1 or I can get drunk on 6. Like I can make a decision how drunk, like how much I want to drink and how drunk I can be.
So like you influence yourself. How?
Yeah.
Like how,
I'm
when
the
you getting
main
drunk.
influencer. Yeah. So I go out.
If you put your mind to like, okay, I'm gonna get drunk after 6 drinks. That's
Yeah.
it. Your body listens to you.
Exactly. It signals.
Okay.
And it's like, okay, Valeria,
maybe,
game
maybe
on.
it's just you're delusional because after drink 1 you're losing.
No, but that was, I just had a baby and Sweet 16
yes.
was my first party out.
Yes.
So I was
after
like,
pregnancy, you're like
"Ooh."
losing the whole resistance.
And I
to
needed
the
to puke on the
alcohol.
car.
Okay, good.
I sold that car with vomit in it eventually.
I hope they know how much more it's worth now
Okay, take the shot.
with
Exactly.
my vomit.
Okay.
Cheers
Cheers.
to stupid shit.
No, take it off. Ooh.
Oh shit, Valeria, that was a joke. You weren't supposed to drink the whole thing. Celine, call the paramedics.
Whoop, whoop.
You know.
Ah, that's disgusting.
I didn't want to do a challenge for dry January because I think it's stupid.
Why you think?
I think it's stupid because I don't believe in like intentionally blocking yourself from doing fun stuff. Do you know what
That's
I mean?
what you literally do all the time when I go out with you.
Really?
You always tell me, I don't drink, I don't drink. I just don't feel clear after.
It's true. I can't sleep. That's
So now
my
you tell
only
me
problem.
opposite of what you said to me every time we were going out.
No, because tell me
Okay.
the last time.
Mm-hmm.
No, tell me a time when we went out and I didn't drink.
Every freaking single time, babe. Maybe you were without me drinking with somebody? Last night you went out. Did you drink?
Yeah.
Yeah, you see? With me, no. I don't know why. You probably just don't want to hang out with me.
I just feel like you don't invite me out.
You don't invite me out. I'm literally the only one invite you out all the time. You never invite me. What are you talking about?
You know what? You know what?
So in for you is invite me out in 2025. It should be on your
Vita
vision board.
out.
My face, dinner out. New goal.
Hang out with Vita in real life. For real.
Exactly.
For real.
Get to know her.
You know what actually drives me crazy at night because I think about it? So all these celebrities and
Okay.
people that are doing all this shit and it's like publicized everywhere and they take like naked photos and all that stuff. Like eventually they have kids.
I have those.
No, I know, but you're like modeled. I have those too, but it's like modeling.
I mean, I literally have my first like braless photo shoot was when I was like 16. Crazy to think of that.
It was very different times.
You had that too, no? I mean, it was like sexy pictures at 16.
It was very, yeah.
Now it's like, I would
Now,
be like,
no way.
No.
You know what I remember? My first photo shoot, I was 15 years old. And the photographer, we're doing the test shoot, and he's like, can you be more sexy? And actually, I wasn't even 15, I was 14. And I was like, sexy? He's like, yeah, and I'm trying to do so. I don't know what that freaking means at 14 to be sexy. So I'm just like, he's like, no, did you ever have sex? And I'm like, no. He's like, okay, so. I was like,
That was
okay,
creepy.
and
That
what
was
now?
creepy.
I'm
Okay.
sure. How many stories, creepy ass stories, do you have?
Actually, yesterday somebody asked me. Oh, yesterday I was at the baby shower and there was a photographer, and she asked me, "Do you have some like creepy stories of the photographers?" And I said, "I actually were lucky enough not to have too many because I do feel like I always project that like kind of whatever I don't feel comfortable with, I'll always say it."
Yeah.
But I had one story. I was at the job in LA. We were shooting a campaign. And this photographer, like, obviously we have like Instagram, which are like as an Instagram, we have contacts with each other. He just like out of nowhere, he like sent me a message around like 7 p.m. oh, I have this crazy creative idea. I'm going to come to your hotel room and we're going to shoot the sexy pictures. He like sent me these pictures, like girl half naked. I'm like, no, you're not coming to my hotel room. Thank you very much.
Oh my God.
That was my only story.
That was the only story?
I was lucky enough not to yeah.
I have crazy stories, but okay,
let's uncover the modeling crazy stories.
But also
like modeling days, traveling.
Yeah.
So what was yours? Give me.
I mean, so last year when we were in Paris, we were walking by, we're walking around. Was it 2 years ago? Where is time even? I don't even understand. Anyways, we're walking in Paris and we're passing this metro stop. And I was like, oh, this is where I first got sexually harassed. And like, just keep going. And Celine is like, excuse me? Because you compartmentalize.
I also have problem to pronounce that word.
Compartmentalize. I feel like there's an extra M. Compartmentalize.
Compartmentalize.
Close enough. So many things in your, like, throughout those kind of days where you can't make it a big deal because then you're just gonna sit and cry about it forever. So you're just kind of like, okay, cool. But in Paris, I was 16 years old. I stopped in Paris to go see an agency on my way to Japan, and I took the subway to go see the agency, and as I went up
in Paris,
I went up the stairs, and this guy, I was wearing a dress with heels, and this guy just like shoved his like hand under my skirt. So many people around, and I started yelling. No one said anything. Everyone's like continuing going. That's why for me, I always had kind of like a hate-love relationship with Paris
because of that situation.
Yeah, because I felt like people, you can't really rely on people to have your back. Everyone's minding their own business, which is the case now everywhere. But yeah, for me, like I have certain moments throughout my career that I was like, nobody came through, you know?
I had this crazy story in Japan. I mean, there was few, but one of the craziest one, we basically were doing laundry. We were living in a model apartment. We were doing laundry. And no, we didn't have a dryer. We just hang it outside at the balcony. So in the morning we wake up, everything is there except our G-strings. They were gone. So we were like, this is so weird. Like, who would need our G-string? Then we went to the agency. We told about this story. And they told us, oh yeah, that's the thing here. They have a vending machine where they sell like used underwear. So they will sell you underwear there. Don't hang them outside in the balcony.
But those were clean.
I know, but I guess they still consider used like they're not.
Have you ever been to a sex store in Japan?
No, I was too young.
No, I was young. I was 16.
Sorry.
But I decided to venture out and learn about the culture. Okay. And I found myself in a sex store. And it was the most traumatizing experience of my life. Because you know what they say, like with people and cultures that are the most reserved are the freakiest.
For sure.
And let me tell you, insane. They had full-on displays using like blow-up dolls and stuff like that to like illustrate like a scene. So it would be like just really creepy stuff. And I was never the same again after seeing it.
Yeah, they have like the craziest sex shows and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I'm not surprised that they would steal like underwear.
There was few times we were just walking from the metro station, like the guy was just following us doing his thing.
That happened to me in Paris.
Wow, the Paris was adventurous for you.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I don't know what it was.
For me, it was
like
Japan.
Japan,
For me, it was Japan. Yeah.
Oh my God, I have to say I do feel very lucky that was the
only things.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me too.
Because it could have been worse.
But I do think that generally in the industry where they talk about the stories when like the girls become victim, I mean, it's obviously I don't want to say it's a girl's fault, but I just do think that they sense the energy, you know, when you can say no, and when you know, as I said, if I would say yes to that day when the photographer told me I'll come to your room, like I don't know what would happen.
I know, but you know what, Vita, because I was in a situation where I was like, it took me a long time to ask myself, is it my, and it wasn't anything terrible, but it was
Right.
like, you know, when you're like, oh, I made a stupid decision. But when you're that young, and especially in a profession
Right.
where it's like, you know, it's creative and
Yeah.
it's fun, and you
Yeah.
want to be the model that's like inspires the
Inspires, yeah,
photographer.
it's true,
Like it's very tricky. Like the lines are very blurred. Now they're way better. Now there's so much transparency
That's
because anybody can go out there and talk. But back then,
I mean,
like,
listen, as I told you, I had my like sexy picture so young. Obviously, I was saying yes to it, you know.
Right.
But I said, thank God nothing happened, you know.
Yeah.
But I think eventually I kind of learned how to.
I
sense that.
remember that when I was in London and I had a test shoot and the photographer became really creepy, and I literally like, I have to go, and I just ran out. And when I talked to the agency the next day, they're like, oh, really? Oh, that's weird.
I mean, think about how many times you end up in a photographer house for a test shoot. Like, who were these people? You were like, oh, they know them, but I don't think they knew them very well. Like, that was just a random people that, you know, was the photographer. And we'll be driving to Brooklyn to God know where.
going up the stairs to this like dark apartment. It's always like,
Yeah,
it's not
always the
fancy
most-
places.
it's
They're all
always,
like
like,
starving artists.
From the horror movies.
God.
Yeah.
Looking back, I honestly, obviously my mother knows nothing because
Same.
she would be traumatized. Because, you know, I was always surrounded by a lot of girls that would travel with their parents. And I was like, wow, this is some privileged stuff over here.
Yeah.
Like traveling
Yeah,
with
yeah.
your parents. Who could afford that?
Yeah.
I was always like alone.
Same.
And I'm here to tell the stories. You see, we can chill.
I know. I was thinking about like that got dark and deep really fast.
I love Avita's like, fuck, we're doing it wrong. We're failing at this.
We need more tequila.
No,
maybe
give us...
we just should agree we're not stupid, superficial people.
No, I feel like we're not trying hard enough.
I mean, did we ever had a stupid conversation? Name me one. Thank you. This podcast was teach us that we're boring as fuck. We don't have anything to
Truly.
give.
We really
We're
don't.
not fun.
What is something that you're passionate about that you wanted to say but you haven't been able to say it? Like,
You know, if I say everything I think,
Yeah.
I'll be canceled tomorrow. We're
No,
not
she'll
there
be
yet.
deported.
I'll be deported. I'm about to get my passport coming year. Don't ruin it for me.
Gonna be like she's a national threat.
Because we're not Americans, then that makes the whole another projection
true.
to them, you know? And it's like, we're already making careers on their land, you know, on your land. And like, they already...
It's not her land.
It's not your land? Where are you from?
I was born here.
Okay, her land. She's born here. That's it. It's
First
her land.
generation doesn't count. Everyone knows it starts from the second.
So like,
You know what's in? Being pro-America.
I always been pro-American.
I know,
That's
but
why I'm here.
I feel like it's been out for a long time for Americans to be pro-America.
No, I agree.
And I want to bring it back.
I'm
Do you know
for
the
it.
anthem?
Huh?
Do you know the American anthem?
No? You? Go for it.
Proud to be... No?
Is
It's
it
not.
like country music?
Is it not?
It's some country singer probably, no?
You're so serious right now?
I pledge religion to the flag of the
Oh my
United
God.
States of America.
That's a pledge of allegiance.
Okay, that's different. Oh, God.
Oh.
By the way, I'll have to learn all of this before I'm getting my passport.
When are you doing it?
This coming year.
Wait, I'm so excited for you.
I don't think Kila is helping. You have your malaka all fucking smooshed.
I don't know what's happening. It's so hot in here.
You were cold.
Wait, in your family, they were very patriotic for America.
Yes.
Yeah, it was like the promised land.
Yeah. Like my dad growing up, like he always was telling me, that's it, future is in America. You learning English, like I had a tutor early on, like this is the plan.
That was the same for me.
Plan.
Literally.
I don't know what it is. Were they watching too much like American
Yeah.
movies? Like I don't
Of
know.
course.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Back in the day, the US has been shown in such like a powerful, like this is the land of opportunity and strength. And it still
I mean,
is.
it still is.
But
I
now
think
they're
me and
just
you were,
not
like
showing
living
it.
American dream.
We absolutely we're living
Yeah.
the American dream. But now it's just being shed all over.
Well, I think people who like grew up here and born here, like I don't think they have the same perception of an American dream as we do, you know?
Well, of course. They haven't gone through the experiences that our families went through.
Yeah.
And I think that's very beautiful.
Play the music. Da da dun dun dun. Dun. I'm dead.
Thank you so much for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't miss my newest episode right here. And if you're listening to the podcast on Apple or Spotify, please go and leave a review with your biggest takeaway. I love reading your thoughts. And if you have any suggestions for guests or topics, you can leave them in the comment section. And always remember, you are not alone.